What's going on, everybody? It's Wade with Swamp Donkey Archery. So this is going to be part 2 of my 2-part video on my new string building, kind of a little bit more informative, a little bit more of a in-depth look, and my new equipment and stuff like that. So if you haven't already watched part 1, I will put a link to it. One of these sections right here, I'll put a link to it. Y'all go watch it first. That's going to be on kind of information on material and laying the actual string out. This one is going to be part 2, like I said, for doing the actual serving, stretching, and stuff like that. So yeah, y'all stick around. Okay, so big equipment upgrade to my previous setup. This is the biggest thing that I've gotten. So this is a SuperServer 800. Okay, this, if you want to get into doing more than just building 1 or 2 strings for yourself, you're actually thinking about trying to do it and make a little side hustle out of it, highly recommend getting one of these. Saves yourself a ton of time in the long run. It's a little out of pocket, but once you get it, it saves you so much time. I've probably cut an hour off of each string build by using this. So real quick, as far as my setup I've got on it, I just got a little simple Craftsman air compressor. It don't take much because all you're doing is using your air pressure to put air on this cylinder right here. Okay, so I got hose coming out of my air compressor. I'm coming up here. We're going through a little filter dryer. I've got my regulator right here. I've just got one regulator on it. I regulate my pressure tension right here. Comes out, goes into your pneumatic stretch cylinder, and there is a diagram, I'm pretty sure it's on the bottom side of this cylinder, that tells you how much air tension equates to how much string tension you're putting on your string when you're stretching it. So you're going to put your string on here, you're going to twist it, stretch it, serve it, everything right here on this. So these are your motors. You got your hook on either one. Whenever you twist, put this on here to twist your string, you're going to do it under, I always do mine under tension. One of these is going to rotate one way, one of them's going to rotate the other. That's going to put your twist in the string. And then whenever you serve it, both of these spin the same direction. And that way you can roll your serving out. I'll show you how all that works in a minute. I just wanted to explain this is what this is, and yeah, definitely worth the money. You do have a little HMI right here where you can program what you're wanting to do, whether you're serving, whether you're twisting, whether you want to go forward, reverse, the speed you're going, how many turns. There's a lot of goodies you can do on this. This one I got my little foot pedal with. Y'all excuse all my junk down here. This I got my little foot pedal with. I use this foot pedal. I don't try to calculate how many turns I want this thing to run. Okay, so this is my machine. Let me get my stuff. All right, let's get this party started. So if you'll notice, I do have a tape measure that I glued on here. It actually stuck. I got my starting point, which lines up exactly with this hook right here, and it goes down until I've got a little nick in it right here. You might see this one lines up exactly with this hook right here. So I can look at this as a reference to how long my string is. So other than using my tape measure for the length of serving I'm fixing to do, this is telling me my exact final length of my string. The one that I'm building is supposed to be a finished length of 54 3/4, I want to say. Yeah, 54 3/4. So I went ahead and set this one about 54 1/2. We're going to walk over here, get this string, and we're going to bring it over here. We're going to hook our end loops on. End loop on here. Make sure you don't get your little tags caught in behind anything. And now I'm going to set that, just put a little bit of tension on it so I can kind of just lay it out. I use just a little sawed off, thinner, like micro diameter arrow pieces to separate my strings. Okay, something that you're gonna have in the shop anyway, and they're pretty easy to deal with. Make sure I got that turned where we can see. So this is where I will separate my blue and gray. Sometimes you just got to play with your tag in. So here we go. We got this. Just going to pull me some slack. I'm going to put 2 of these in here. Now, I'm going to hold on to one of these. This one I'm going to slide up this way. This one I'm going to slide all the way down here, and it's going to push any of your twist all the way to one end. So you should have real pretty clean ends right there. You see I got like half a twist in this one side. You'll never see that. Don't worry about that. So I leave these in. My center serving is going to fall somewhere in here. So I'm going to put this little tag in above where my center serving was be. This one's going to stay in here. Now, I'm going to put me some tension on here. I'm not going to tell you the exact tension I twist with because there's a few things I've got to leave for me. So let me see if you can see this right here. So we're going to twist. I want to twist forward direction, speed of 300 because that's the maximum you can twist. And I'm going to start with about 30. I don't have a standard that I twist X amount of twists per inch of string length. I start with a number and I twist it until I can get the number that I want, and I've been able to do it enough by laying out over here that I can usually get my string twist rates to match. Okay, so this is the cool part. This is where you get to hit start, go, you can see it twist up. Alright, and now I will take tension off. I'm going to pull these string separators out. Now you got nice clean twist lines here. Your colors aren't mixed up. I'm going to put a little bit of tension back on it. So I'm going to see where it settles out at. Now, alright, so we're at 54 7/8. So I'm going to put tension. Now I'm going to put full tension on it. I will tell y'all my full tension. My full tension is I set this to like 120 pounds, and that equates to, it's either 300 or 350 pounds of stretch tension. And the good thing about this pneumatic cylinder as opposed to a spring is this pneumatic cylinder is going to apply a constant tension to it all the time. So you get a nice equal stretch for the whole time. So I got full tension on it now. We was just a little bit long. I'm going to put about 6 twists in it. Now I'm going to pop that off. Now it's right at 54 3/4. I'm going to put full tension. We're going to do about 1 more twist. And now I'm going to let this sit while I go over here and build another control cable to go on it. But I will do like what I done here. I will twist it under tension, take tension off, look and see what my length is, and I will do that until I get my length the right measurement. And then once I get it where I want it, you know, or maybe just a tad short because it's going to stretch in some, I will see if I can explain this the way I want to say it. I will take tension off, check my measurement, and you know, if it's going to stretch, it's going to be a little long. So I'm going to add twist back to it until I put it under tension and then take tension off and it lands relaxed at the exact measurement I want it. I repeat that process. Usually takes 2 to 3 times of stretching, twisting, stretching, twisting until I get it on the length, finished length that I want. So that is the stretch and twisting part. Okay, so getting close to the end of the video, a little more than halfway done. Just going to throw out a little bit more, I guess you'd call it advice. But I just want to say, look, you're going to screw up. There's nothing more frustrating than laying one out, getting it over here, getting it all served and everything ready to go. And then you go to pull it off and you realize you built it an inch short. Or you built it 2 inches too long. You looked at you had the wrong setup, or The real frustrating thing is like building for like several I've done building for a Hoyt. Thinking it has like a type 1 cam and it has a type 2 cam on it or something like that. And you look at your string specs for one and it's actually one for the other. You're going to mess up. You're going to waste material. Don't let it frustrate you. It is frustrating. The best thing to do when I have one of them days that I mess up like that, if I just totally screwed one up, man, I just walk out. I'm done. I'm done for the day. Because if I mess up once, I'm going to mess up 2 or 3 other times because I done got frustrated. I'm not paying attention. I'm kind of doubting what I'm doing. So, yeah, just want to throw that out there. You're going to mess up. Get over it. Everybody does. Just regroup. Throw that one away. Start over. And it's going to be all right. I promise. Okay, I've had this one stretching for an undisclosed amount of time. And we are exactly 54 3/4 inches. So I'm putting tension back on this, and we're going to serve this under full tension. I serve full tension at the 300 to 350 pound range. This is one of my biter spools. This one is got the 14 thousandths halo. I'm going to swap this out for my 14 thousandths bloodline. Let me undo this. So I'm going to do this one in the 14 thousandths bloodline. Then you'll see how I swap the spools out. I got one that I keep my clear like 7 or 8 thousandths serving on. It just stays on that one, and I've got this other one here. This is one I always change out for black or colored or the bigger clear or whatever. So this is the one that gets the most use, and I've been using this one a couple of years now, and really ain't got no complaints about it. It's good piece of equipment. All right, so this is how I'm going to start it. I know by looking at my little chart over that way that I'm going to start this at 17 inches. So the one thing about this bloodline material is it is super slick. So it's hard to get your starting wraps sometimes. So what I do is I'll wrap one way, cross it, and then wrap again. I get about 4 wraps on it, 4 or 5 wraps, so it sits there. Then I take my measurement. Said I want this to be 17. There's 18 inches. We're going to shorten it. I want to go 17. It actually called for 16 on my sheet over there. If you got an eidetic memory and remember, it's like, hey, that sheet said 16 inches, not 17. It's because the 16 inches was without it having some speed beads, and I'm going to put some speed beads or speed knocks on this one. So, all right. So I serve, basically what I use for a guess is, let's see if I can get that in there, where my string starts to about here. This is about how much I put on before I pull my tag end out. Then I run down until my tag end is out from under my spool. Alright, so you can see my tag end is just outside of my spool. So now, this is where these little boogers right here come in handy. So this is on the what I'd call the bottom side. My bottom side being I twisted forward, you need to serve. If you can see that there. Serves, we want to serve in the reverse direction. Speed, full speed, which is 800. And turns, I'm going to go to infinity. That way I can just step on my little pedal down here and we can let it eat. So if you twist, one twist reverse, one twist forward. So the way that I twist it in forward direction, the right hand side of the string should be served reverse. And then when you start serving that way, well, basically serving that way, you serve forward, serving this way, you serve reverse. That's a better way to explain it there. So this, I start here and I go to my end loop. So that's the reason I'm serving this way on this one, reverse. Step on the pedal and you just let it, you can see it serving right there. So this is serving at 800 revolutions per minute. That's what the 800 stood for. So, like I said, I just mild tension. I do it what, like at the where I spin it, and it runs about 3 times on its own. I usually run it about right there. I might just hit it, tighten down just a little bit, but I don't do too much more than that. And we just keep going until I get to this point I want to stop down here. Now I usually run it down this way until this side of my serving jig starts bumping on my loop, like that right there. You can see how it just started, went boom, it actually started running the other way because it run up on this. That's about where I stop. I'll back it off till I know I'm at the point to where I'm not over serving my serving. I'll run it up a little bit more. I try to get it to where my serving that I'm serving here is off of the string material and just getting up on the serving for the end loop, if that makes sense. So I get it there. Then I got this handy dandy little critter right here, this little key. And then I've got this little loop of material on it. And this is where I do a end loop serving to make it really clean. So you see I looped it over this hook. I'm holding tension on it right here. You serve over this serving material. And you kind of got to play with it a little bit. I try to get about 10 loops on that. I wasn't counting, but that's going to be close. And then I look at the distance I have right here for the size of that end loop. For when you first starting, you can take your tape measure, or there's a couple places that I like to do about 1/2 inch on that. There's a couple places that sell little gauges you can put right here so you can see, get your end loops to the right size. So when I do that, I got my 8 or 9 loops on it. Now this is where I pull my serving out, get me a little bit of slack. I cut it. Let's see if I can bend that down a little bit so you can see it a little better. All right, so this is where I'll cut my serving. That and this here, and then you take your loop, end loop, and push up through here. And this is where I just realized I don't have my glasses on and I can't hardly see that little tag in right there. All right, so you see what I did? I pushed that loop up through here. Now it is between your string loop and this serving loop that you put through right here. Now this is where it's really nice to have you a little pick or something. I'll take my pick. We pull that little loop off. And now you just take it and snatch it through. And now it just pulled your tag in underneath this. Made it really nice and clean. I'll cut it and leave about a 1/4 inch or so of string material. And then we're going to burn it down. Always burn from the top down. Never, ever, ever from the bottom up. You will damage your string or burn through your string material. You can kind of do from the side if you want, but never burn from the bottom up. And then you just flatten it out nice. Now, that is a nice clean piece of serving right there. Now I'm going to do string stop, center serving, top cam. Okay, so this one we're doing this way now. So we got to change it from reverse to forward. And now we're good. This starts at 20.5. I've already got my little wraps started here. Snug her down just a little bit till I, like I said, just kind of a feel thing on the tension. Now it's very important that you serve the correct direction, because if this string was twisted the other direction and you're serving against the direction of the twists, what's going to happen is either your string is going to ball up whenever you take tension off. It's just going to knot up like this, or you're going to get a whole lot of serving separation in your serving because you've twisted it one way against the other way that it's twisted, if that makes sense. So this is the most important thing about twisting and serving your string, is making sure you're going the right direction. So this is supposed to go to 22.5, and I think on the previous video, I can't remember if I took a little marker and marked on the string where I wanted to end. That works really good, but man, I hate having a nice pretty string with a black mark on it. Some people use tape. They put tape where they want to stop. I've stopped doing that too. I just keep my tape measure in my hand, and I serve down to where I want it to be. That's almost 22.5. I want to stop at 22.5. That is on 22.5. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 10 reps off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, and then we're going to put 10 reps back in your back serve. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 1 to grow on. And now I just set my serving back. That way, oh, no, I done messed up. Not paying attention. Went too far with it. So, we'll set my serving right back here like this, and this is where you're just going to back serve. And as you lay it out, just kind of push it up against it like that. Just keep it nice and even. Try to keep nice even tension on your loop while you're running it back. Now you've got it all there. Pull it down. Now I will say on this bloodline material, the boa, you can't get quite as aggressive on it with your serving tension whenever you're finishing it off, because it will break. It's kind of brittle under tension, but it holds up really well under wear. If that, not underwear, not your underwear, but underwear, it holds up a lot. Pretty good. So, burn these down, and I'm not going to bore you with the center serving or the serving around the top cam, because you've seen how I've done both of those. Next thing, I'll show how to put the speed knocks on here, and we'll be done. All right, so the last step is putting some speed knocks on it. This one didn't have any per se on the diagram, so I just took for granted that the 16 inches was probably stopping just a little bit past the end of the cam, so I added another inch to it to put these on there. It's more to help, these that I'm putting on there is more to help with kind of string dampening rather than necessarily for speed. So that's why, if I don't have one that I know says you need one at 16 3/4 inches, I'm going to put it just about where I feel like it's going to be a nice little place to have, and then still clear the end of the cam. So I'm going to look, and I'm thinking 16 1/4 sounds really good. So I'm going to set them on 16 1/4 on each side. I always use these pliers to start it. Just put it on there just a little snug, and then I found these little Avalon knot crimpers, and these are my go-to for crimping them on there. You can get the multi like gas strings, make some that's like 3 speed knocks put together or something like that. I use those sometimes. Sometimes I just use these. These are just your standard red knocks, and I'm gonna put 3 on one side and 3 on the other. But y'all are only gonna see me put these 3 on here. Actually, I'll probably go ahead and put the others on, and I'm going to show you how I do my shrink wrap. Alright, I'll show you how I do my my shrink wraps. Here, let y'all check that out. These are from, let's see if it focuses on that. I got these made at Wire Care. These are 1/4 inch with dang, I can't remember what ratio it is. I think it's a 3-to-1 ratio for shrinkage on it. Can't remember on that. I'll have to double check. If anybody needs to know for sure, hit me in them comments down there, and I'll look it up and answer your question in the comment. So I just take tension off. We slide these on the end, put tension back on it, slide it to where I know I got it kind of centered up on the nocks. Right there, right there. I'm gonna unplug my air compressor and grab this heat gun here. And this is one of my favorite parts of the build, one of the coolest parts of the build anyway. So now I'll kick this on, let this start heating up, and then I hit my pedal and I just get my old string spinning just like I was going to serve it. And then we just hit it with the old heat gun right there. You see it shrinks it down nice. Come down here to this side, hit that one. And we are done with that one. That is it, finished product. I'll go ahead one more check on the link. I'll take it off. We are 54 3/4. So that is it. Hope the video was helpful to you. Like I said, this may wind up being a little longer one. I was trying to keep it under 20 minutes. I don't know if I succeeded or not, but I tried to give you a lot of information in there. Like I said, some of this is applicable to lesser style equipment, but it can also be applied in many different scenarios there. So anyhow, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like I said, hit the thumbs up, sub to my channel if you hadn't already done it. Hit me up in the comments down there if you got any questions. And yeah, let me know if there's another video you want to see me do. I might do a next one might be a what all equipment do you have to kind of start your own little small shop or something like that. If y'all like that idea, let me know in the comments. So anyhow, yeah, guess that's it. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Appreciate everything. Y'all have a good one.